and thank you. I feel like I'm like a talk show host. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on this Saturday morning. I'm going to turn my music off. Pause that music. I love to party. Nobody else was dancing because apparently they don't like my music, but I do. So my name is Kelly Posner, and I am one of the hosts today for our Brunch and Biz, Get Rid of the Kids, and spend an hour with us, probably an hour. But we are going to share our journeys from before we became a coach, how coaching has changed our lives, and why we continue to share our journey with people like you. And so you're going to hear from 3 different coaches today. We all have very different stories, yet we come together for the same purpose. So as you pop in, go ahead and in the chat box, we're going to make sure that everybody's muted throughout the whole thing except for the speakers. Post in the chat box where you're from, maybe who invited you to this brunch this morning. And if you have questions pop up as we're going through and as we're talking, we are going to have a question and answer period at the end. So please just don't worry about waiting till the very end so you don't forget your question. Pop it in the chat box and we'll check back there at the end of telling our stories. So we're going to get right into it, and Miss Kisa is going to be our first presenter today, and go ahead and take it away, Kisa.
Hi, you guys. So I am Kisa. I have been a Beachbody coach for about 2 years. I am a mom of 3, I should say mom and bonus mom. I have a husband. I work full-time as a paralegal. I love the outdoors. If we weren't in quarantine, I would be hiking right now because it's super gorgeous outside. But I just wanted to share a little bit about how I got into coaching, why I got into coaching, and what it has done for me, and just share a little bit about that. So before I signed up as a coach, I was your classic, hey, I'm going to be in the best shape of my life. I am going to, this is the year that I'm going to just go all in and do it. And so it was repetitive year after year. I would, at the beginning of the year, sign up for a gym membership. I'd go for a little while, and then I'd fall off. And I continued to do this repeatedly. And so I got sick of doing that. And so I had ordered Beachbody on demand, like, I don't know, one of my beginning of the year purchases. I was like, this is a great deal. I'm going to do this. And it literally sat, it just sat there. I never used it. And then I started seeing a program that was coming out called 80 Day Obsession. And I was looking at the results from this. And I was like, okay, this is it. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go all in. So I started researching it. And I found out that if I signed up as a coach, then I would get a discount. And I am frugal. Frugal would probably be a good word. I'm cheap. I like to get the best deal. So I knew that I would sign up as a coach, but I was super, super curious about this income opportunity because I've been watching all these other women on social media. Like, what do they do? I was very, very skeptical. Again, I come from a legal background, so I was very skeptical jumping on. And so I reached out to Kelly, who introduced us. She had absolutely no idea who I was. I just dropped in her Facebook Messenger and I said, hey, I want to know a little bit more about this coaching gig. And so we met over brunch actually. And we talked a little bit and I was still skeptical, but I was like, okay, you know what? I'll give this a try. Like, what do I have to lose? Really, I have nothing to lose. I'm going to commit to the program. I'm going to do the work anyway. So why not share it with other people and see if I can help other people along the way? But Kelly, here's the deal. I am not doing social media. I flat out told her, like, I'll do this, but I'm not doing social media. I had no Instagram at the time. I had Facebook, but I was very limited in my circle life. If I didn't like you, you weren't in my circle. Like, it was just my close high school friends, family members, and that was pretty much it. And so I jumped in and I started doing the workouts, and I did them, not just the workouts, I did the supplements as well, because I was going to go in 100% and just see where that took me. And very early on, I want to say in March of that year, I had lost my grandmother. And normally, had I just joined a gym, that would have completely thrown me completely off course. Like, I would have given up at that point. But instead, I leaned into this community of people that I was beginning to build relationships with, people that I didn't know. And I leaned in, and I leaned in hard. And because I took that leap of faith in myself, my journey, and leaned into the community, which I think is so amazing about Beachbody, is that you get to share your journey with other people and influence people, and you're there for them in the good and the bad and in the hard, and we celebrate each other. So just a little bit, like, even before this was going on, even before I decided to sign up as a coach or do any of this, I was a mom of 3. All my kids were in high school, and my husband kept going, "Hey, Kisa, what are you going to do with your life when the kids graduate? Like, what are you going to do?" And I'm like, I have absolutely no idea. I was the PTA mom. I was very involved in their academics and their sports, and my life really revolved around my children and my family, and I didn't really take time for myself. And so what Beachbody has given me, and being a coach gave me the accountability to show up for other people when maybe I wasn't willing to show up for myself. And I think as women, we do that very easily. We will put other people first before we will do something for ourselves. And so what this allowed me to do was learn how to take care of myself first, so that I could better serve my family, so that I could be a better mom, a better wife, a better employee, a better sister, daughter, whatever label you want to put on it. I was putting me first, so then I had the energy to give back to other people. So I have built so many amazing friendships through this journey, and that is probably one of my favorite things about this. The other thing is that I will get emotional on this. I remember the first time one of my friends, who I had not talked to in years, had reached out to me about this opportunity. She started working out, doing this stuff, and she came back to me and said, "Oh my gosh, Kisa, thank you so much." She dropped 6 pant sizes in one program. And she said, I haven't been able to lose this weight in years, since before my last child. And so when you realize the impact that you are making on other people's lives, that is probably the biggest takeaway that I've got from this. I also have a second stream of income. So I've been able to pay off debt. I have been able to travel more. I am starting my 3rd year with Beachbody as a coach, and I have qualified for their 3rd trip that they offer, an annual trip every year that you can earn. And I just qualified for my 3rd trip. So we're going to Mexico next year. And what else? I mean, just the community is amazing, and it has completely transformed my life. I have worked out for the first time ever for 2 years, well, a little over 2 years now, every week, 4 to 7 times a week. And for somebody who wasn't doing that, that is huge. And I really do think that coaching offers so much opportunity to build relationships, build friendships, create a second stream of income, or maybe your first stream of income, to be able to give more freely, pay off debt, do whatever it is that you want to do. And you know, they don't guarantee any level of success. It's what you put in is what you get out. So the other thing is I always thought that I was a pretty healthy eater, right? Like I was pretty healthy eater. And until I started diving into all the nutrition and all the programs, I realized that I wasn't eating enough and I wasn't eating right. So not only do you get the exercise portion, but you get the nutrition portion, and you just become more knowledgeable about what you're putting into your body and how that fuels your workouts. So I think that's really it. I mean, I took a chance on myself and I got so much in return. And the biggest thing was that I was able to pay it forward. And that's what I love the most about this is we're helping people not only get healthy and fit, but when they join the business opportunity, we are giving them an opportunity for a life of freedom of time, freedom of debt, freedom of, you know, all these other things. And so that's really what it has given me, is freedom to start living the life that I want to live, because quite honestly, you know, I don't know, I'm stuck, and I would just say that Beachbody has made this huge impact on my life. And I'm just going to pass it over to Deja next, because I lost my train of thought.
Okay, guys. Hi there. I am a mom. I'm a brand new coach. I've been a coach for 3 weeks. I work as a nurse at our local hospital, part-time night shift. And yeah, so I started my weight loss journey about 3 years ago. I was an athlete in high school, and my husband and I met in high school and have been together ever since. We were both athletes, and as our relationship grew, you know, going out to eat and being more sedentary started taking into effect. I mean, we had moved out and paycheck to paycheck, and I found myself just yo-yo dieting, and I was going through so many really special big moments in my life, being very, very unhappy with the way my body looked, very overweight, trying to pose differently in photos to make just that little bit of a change. And I ended up going to a diet to lose my weight that was just very, very restrictive. I was happy with the weight loss, but I wasn't happy in the entirety. And then I got pregnant with my twins, and everything went out the window. I was just eating what I wanted, when I wanted. And as you could imagine, having twin babies, my idea of that postpartum bounce back was just so unrealistic. I would punish my body in the sense of like, okay, well, I'm not going to have any sugar. I'm not going to have any soda. I'm not going to have any carbs. I'm not going to have any of this, whatever it might be. And yet I'm trying to, you know, supply milk, or, you know, even be alert and awake and involved with my babies. And it was just, I look back now at my postpartum journey. My girls are going to be 2 in July. And I feel so sad for that version of me, because I wish that I had this community I have now then. Women that support and love you to say, hey, give yourself a little grace, take a little time, because I just had such an unrealistic expectation of what health should be. And so throughout the first 18 months of my girls' life, I had really bad mom guilt and postpartum anxiety that I didn't recognize I had, to the point where I would try to take some me time to drive to the store and sit in the parking lot and just sob my eyes out, because I missed them and I wanted to come home and just felt guilty for taking time for myself. So I decided to join the gym. That was what I liked to do in my previous life before kids. And it just wasn't as fulfilling as I thought it would be. I thought that I would be able to work out harder, and that I would be able to overcome the mom guilt by having them in with other kids. And it just wasn't a good setting for us. I would make excuses not to go. My kids were teething. They only had limited hours, whatever it might have been. And so I decided to pull my girls out of the gym, and I had signed up for Beachbody On Demand in the October that I had my girls. And I had tried doing Transformation 20. Again, unrealistic that I thought my, 3-month postpartum body would be able to just bounce into that really tough program. And so I ended up stopping the program after 2 days. And so fast forward, I remembered that I had Beachbody On Demand. So I decided to set a goal for myself to complete Transformation 20. I love Shaun T, and I love how empowering he is. And I had watched Kelly all this time, just killing her goals, showing up, being raw, real, emotional, showing that you don't have to be perfect. You can have rough days. You can turn off the workout if it's really, just not fulfilling you that day. And so I set the goal and I finished it. And my work friends and my social life, my mom, my husband started noting how happy I seemed, how proud. And for somebody who had been overweight for a really long time and suffered from self-love, feeling pride for yourself for the first time in years was huge. So I talked to Kelly and she had offered the coaching because my BOD was up for renewal. And I said, oh, absolutely not. I'm not interested in coaching at all. I'm busy. I'm far too busy. And like Kisa, I'm very cheap and very frugal. So when I saw that little discount pop up, I said, sure, why not? And I had been sharing already my journey with Transformation 20. And I had girlfriends who wanted to join. And Kelly had pointed out, hey, like, you're already impacting people's lives. Like, if you take this next step into coaching, not only do you get a discount, but also you can help change people's lives. And as a nurse, I love changing people's lives. I love being the support for them. I love taking somebody's hands when they're at their very lowest and giving them that courage to take one more step, to move just one more inch further. And so why not become a coach? Why not do that by living my best life and being that example for others that, I was at my very lowest and I'm climbing back up. Why can't you? And giving that example that I'm a busy mom, I'm a busy nurse, I'm a busy wife, like all of us. And if I can do it, you certainly can. And, I just really want to help others, moms, women, just find their self-love. I struggled for years pretending like I had it when I didn't. It's really, really lonely not liking yourself. And I desperately needed to like me, and I desperately needed to find a community of women who will hold your hand and carry you when you're not feeling strong enough. And that in 3 weeks, I have found so much from here. I found accountability from these women. I found friendships. Last week I had a really rough day where I just felt so low, and I had several women on my team reach out and just say, hey, like, you've got this. Look how far you've came. Like, we've got this. Keep going. And I've been able to hit some really important goals to myself. If you hit Success Club 3 months out of 6, you get to go to Summit and you get to be a part of a test group. And I want that so badly. I've hit 2 months out of the 2 months that 3 weeks that I've been a coach has fallen into 2 months. And I've hit that both months so far. And it's just given me the boost of confidence that I needed. And being in this community and showing up for myself every day has silenced my inner bully so much. And that's the main thing that Beachbody has done to change my life, is it's given me that community. It's given me my self-worth back to feel like I can do this. I can not only get healthy and happy for myself and my family, but I can help change people's lives around me. I can show people what is out there and available for you if you just take the chance. And financially, I've been able to pay my student loan payment this month already in May. And that's huge. That's huge for my family. And I'm just really excited to see what else is coming. And I have some really big goals that I honestly never thought would be set for myself, because I was very skeptical coming into this, and I just wanted to be a discount coach. And then I just wanted to be a hobby coach, and I keep leaning farther and farther. And I see really big things happening with this community and everything that coaching has to offer. So that's me. that's my story. So I will hand it over to Kelly.
Oh, I never get tired of hearing their stories. I just have to say that. And what's so interesting before I get fully into my story is that I heard from both of them, and one thing that they said is it just always makes me feel so proud, is that they watched me for a long time, and both were essentially strangers that I met on social media, and Kisa on Facebook, and Deja on Instagram, and they said they followed me for a long time. It wasn't like a quick thing that they saw one workout one day or one post one day and they said, I'm all in. They watched me, and they saw me, quote unquote, crushing my workouts, or showing that I wasn't perfect and that it's hard and all these things. And what I remember, and this will go into my story, is that just 9 years ago, my daughter is 8.5. I was not a person that anybody would want to follow, and that anybody would want to, that would see as an inspiration. And I became a coach just over 6 years ago in February of 2014. And when I started, I didn't start for the discount. I was a single mom. I was recently divorced with, she was just over one when I started. No, she was 2011. She was 3 when I started, but I had gotten divorced. I can't do math. I had gotten divorced when she was 7 months old, and left my ex-husband, and had to start a new life. And when I started my new life, I had zero self-esteem. I had no self-worth. The only thing I had was my job. I knew I had a stable job. I was a high school counselor at the time. And that was the thing that kept me going, because I had to show up there every day. I had this child that I had to take care of, but I was really going through the motions. And it was a really, really dark time for me. And sometimes I forget how far I've come, because it's hard to go back and look at the person that I was just, and it seems like maybe it's a long, 8 or 9 years ago, that's a long time. It really isn't. And what's great is through this opportunity, I've continued to grow every single year. When I was back, even, right when I started coaching in 2014, I needed an extra income. So I signed up for the extra income. I was living paycheck to paycheck. There was never any money at the end of the month. I couldn't do anything extra. I couldn't go to happy hours or go to coffee dates. I mean, it was literally like bills and bills and bills, right? And so I wanted something that I could do where I wouldn't be taken away from my child, because I was already sharing custody. And I wouldn't have to, if I was going to go work at Starbucks or do something else, it was like I'd have to put my kid in daycare to go do that. Well, that's kind of, counteractive. And so at that time I was dating a guy, and who's not my now husband, and he had some friends that were doing this. And we went on a trip that were both full-time Beachbody coaches, and we went on a weekend trip. And I was listening to the wife of the couple at the time, who was a full-time coach. She was a teacher and was able to leave teaching and become a full-time coach. And I was listening to her conversations. She was working. Yeah, we were on, weekend vacation, but she was working, in pockets of her time and sending messages and things like that. And I was just so intrigued, like, what is she doing? And she was so passionate about it. And she didn't mind that she had to take a minute or two. We were just hanging out in this cabin. It was the winter time. And actually it was Memorial Day, or not Memorial Day, President's Day weekend in February. What is that, when the one is? Anyway, and so I just was so intrigued. And so when we left that, and she never pressured me, she never brought it up. And when we left that weekend, I remember asking my boyfriend, who's now my husband, I said, I'm so nervous if I sign up for this and I fail, because they're your bestest friends. And what if like what if I fail? I was so afraid of failing back then. I was so afraid of what other people thought of me. And if you watch my stories, if you've been, following me, you realize I don't care anymore. That is one thing that has come out of this coaching opportunity, is that I really have created so much confidence. I have built, I should say, because I was the least confident person in my own abilities and myself, as a wife, mother, human, friend. Like, I used to never invite people out for coffee dates for the fear that they would say no because they didn't want to hang out with me. Like I was so afraid of rejection. And I mean, it was devastating. And so when I started this job, you know, quote unquote side biz, I really went for the income, and I didn't realize the community. I didn't realize, you know, like I didn't go in like, I'm going to help all these people. Yeah, I wanted to do that, but I strictly looked at the income, and I had early success. I was making weekly income because we get paid weekly. I had my first paycheck within the first week of coaching. I had a little bit each week that I was getting in my account. And I remember the first check was only $40, but that $40 felt like 1,000 to me because that was mine that I earned, you know, and, you know, by sharing my journey and sharing my story. Well, that early success quickly faded because what I wasn't doing was I was going out and trying to share what I had to offer, but I wasn't sharing the journey that I had with what I had to offer because I wasn't practicing what I was preaching. I was saying, hey, these workouts, I knew that the workout programs were amazing. I knew that they worked, but I wasn't willing to follow them. And I also thought that I had to be perfect. I couldn't have a cider or a White Claw or a cocktail. I couldn't have tortilla chips and queso. I was like, I can't do all that. I'm posted on social media. Like, so then I was living a lie essentially, because it wasn't like I stopped doing those things. I just wouldn't post about them. So I wasn't authentic. I don't know if people saw through that, but I wasn't connecting to people like Kisa, like Deja, you know, who finally saw this person that was being authentic. You know, I was attracting people in my early days that were, I don't want to say broken, I don't like that word, but were super struggling, had those, and they weren't willing, just like I wasn't, they weren't willing to do the work to come out of that space. Okay. It wasn't till about 2 years ago. So like I said, I've been a coach for 6 years. It wasn't until about 2 years ago where I went all in on a program. It was the same program that Kisa started in January of 2018. I said, I have to practice what I preach. I have to do this for myself. Kisa mentioned it in her story. She couldn't take care of anybody else before she could take care of herself. Deja mentioned it, you know, and I finally realized that was absolutely true. I was trying to I'm a people pleaser. I try to take care of everybody else, you know, I'm last on my priority list. And the number one job as a coach is to take care of yourself. This was the first time in my life somebody said, your number one job is to take care of you. Even as a mom, how many times have you heard your kid is your number one priority? Okay. If you're a mom and you've heard, how are you going to take care of that kid if you don't take care of yourself first? Okay. And so people can be pissed at me or whatever, but you have to, even if you're a mom, you have to take care of yourself first before you can best take care of your child or anybody else. So once I went all in on that program and I shared my journey and I shared how hard it was and I shared that, you know, I was doing the work, people like, and I wasn't even where I am today in terms of my mental state and my, you know, my confidence level and all of that. My team wasn't nearly as big. You know, we weren't having the same success that we are now, but it was the beginning. And I shared from the beginning all the way to now, what are we, May 9th, 2020. I've shared that journey, been completely authentic. Just like Kisa said, I have not worked out. I was the same way. I would barely work out in my program. I'd be like, oh, I just pretend like I did my workout. You know, I just wouldn't post. Like, they don't see it. They don't know if I did it or not. I have not missed a workout in 2 years and 4 months. Like, if it's in my program, I'm doing the workout. Unless I'm sick, but I'll make it up. I'll do a double. It's a commitment I made to myself. And I am a better human being for it. It's crazy. And I still go, when people go, how does an at-home workout program change your life? It's not the programs that changed my life. It's all of the opportunities from starting an at-home workout and then deciding to invest in myself and then deciding to, after I've invested in myself, to go and invest in other people. That's what's changed my life. It has given me the opportunity to level up my life. And I hear this all the time that maybe coaching is not that thing for you. Maybe this isn't the thing that's going to help you level up your life, but then go out and find what is. Okay, this is what it is for me. And I am still a part-time middle school counselor. I love that job, but there's just something about being able to share my journey from depressed, broke, like literally a shell of a human being, to the person you see sitting before you today. This was not possible just a few years ago. And it's because of the community, taking care of myself, my health, my mental health, personal development. Oh my gosh, I wish you could see my office and the amount of books and things that are in my office that I never again heard about personal development until I started this business. It was always professional development. How can you be a better counselor? How can you be a better blah, 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 not personal development. And so I don't know if I've gone over my time or if I've even I just kind of went off the cuff today, but what I love so much about this business is that anybody can be successful. Anybody can change their life if they choose to commit, put in the work, and then reach out and use their accountability partners, their success partners, their support team to keep going. It's really easy to have success when you're feeling great and, everybody's asking you, what are you doing? And I want to join and da-da-da. The real work happens when it gets hard, when you're struggling, when you're having a hard time, when your workouts are harder, you're not feeling the best, or you have, a down moment. That's where we all come in. That's where we don't let you fail. We don't let you give up. And I think the only real failing is quitting or giving up. We fail so much in the business because we're trying. The only way to ultimately fail is to quit. And I don't mean just quit this business, I mean quit on yourself. If you quit on yourself, you failed. And it doesn't mean you can't start over again, but we don't allow each other to quit. We don't allow each other to make that ultimate decision to quit on ourselves. And if it's accountability, if it's community, if it's financial, if it's for mental health, there are all kinds of opportunities in this business to level up your life. And I will finish with this because my goal when I started, and then we're going to open it for question, my goal was income. And I had it in the beginning, and then it quickly went away because I wasn't doing the right things. And what I gained in the interim was not only my confidence, but this community of women. I've always been judged and, thought I was being compared to every single person. I don't ever feel that in my world and my team. And now, almost 2.5 years later, after fully going in, I recently just surpassed my part-time income. I am looking to retire myself from my day job and only do coaching. And I've had my highest paying month in April, and last week was my highest paying week. So even though it took longer than I expected for me, I am so grateful for this journey, and I can't wait to see where I'm going to be this exact time next year. Okay. And that's what we ask. We ask, if you decide that this is for you and you want to join us, give us a year. Give it a year, work with your mentor, work with your upline, work with your team, give it a year and go all in. Just like you would on a fitness program, you're not going to get quick results after 2 or 3 weeks. It's a lifestyle. This business, this fitness, nutrition, it's a lifestyle. And I can't imagine my life without it. So, and just to make all the legal, pieces of paralegal, Beachbody does not, I don't even know the whole thing. Normally I just copy and paste it. Beachbody does not, what is it, Kisa? I can't even think.
Guarantee any level of success.
Yes, it's all based on how hard you want to work. That's the nuts and bolts of it. You can be as successful as you want. The sky is the limit. but you have to put in the work. This is not one of those things where you just sign up a bunch of people and you get all these bonuses. That's illegal. You have to put in the work, and you have to actually help yourself and then help people. So I am going to open it up for questions. If we want to, we'll check the chat box. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so we can.
So we do have two questions. The first one is what if I already have a full-time job and a really busy schedule? How can I make this work?
Do you want to take that, Kisa, since you have?
Yeah, I'll take that one since I'm the only full-time employee on this coach call. So I work full-time as a paralegal, as Kelly said, and I actually, when we're not in COVID, have about a 2-hour commute each day. So I am I'm usually away from home more than I am home. Like literally my days are usually about 12 hours a day before I get home. By the time I leave in the morning until I get home, it's 12 hours usually. So I will say you can totally do this with your busy schedule. I started this with 3 kids in the home, working, full time, having the commute as well. And what I do is I find pockets of time in my day to be able to work it. So whether it's 15 minutes here, 15 minutes here, I will use my lunch break at work, which usually I'm a workaholic. I usually only take like half an hour for my lunch. Thank you, COVID, because now I'm forced to take an hour lunch. So then I use that for my time. And really is what I try and do is I try and schedule out my week so that I can kind of get an idea of where it's at, set business hours. So that I know like, okay, I've got a break here, or I can do it like half an hour here before I start work. I can jump on during lunch. I can do it during these times in the evening, and this is my shutdown time. Like I almost always shut down by 9 p.m. every night because I need downtime. And I think that's important as a coach, because sometimes you feel like you are constantly connected to your phone, and you don't want to be constantly connected to your phone. You do want to set business hours, but you can totally do this. I don't care how busy you are. If it's a priority, just like health and fitness, if it's a priority, you will find time in your day to make it work. And it doesn't have to be, you don't have to work on it 4 hours a day to be successful. I like to tell my coaches at start, like, can you commit to an hour a day? Like, depending on what their goals are, can you commit to an hour a day? Like, if you can commit to an hour a day, you can get your invites out. You can start talking with people. That hour doesn't include your working out or your personal development, but that includes your business activities, like posting to social media, inviting friends or family or whoever to join you. And it doesn't have to be all time consuming. Again, it all depends on your goals, but you absolutely can be a successful coach while working a full-time job, while raising a family, while doing whatever else you have to do. But you do have to set business hours, and you do have to make it a priority. And if you don't make it a priority and you put it on the back burner, then you may not hit your goals. That's just what it is. Kelly, you keep going like this. Like
I'm like, wait, should you just stop talking? Well, I was going to say when I did.
Me?
Yeah.
Stop talking?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was going to say 6 years ago when I started, I was working full-time as a full-time high school counselor. I was a single mom, of a young child. And so I did the same thing. I worked in power pockets of time. When my daughter was napping, she was younger, so she went to bed early. So either during naps on the weekends or after she went to bed at night, I was sitting at home by myself. And like Kisa said, when you're passionate about something, you want to go work it. COVID has been the best thing in terms of me being stuck at home and being able to put so much more energy towards this business. Like I wake up wanting to go to work. And so again, I try to look for the positives in all this craziness. And that is one thing that is really, benefited me. So there's a second question. What if you don't have a transformation story when you start? Deja, do you want to answer that? Because you literally just started like 3 weeks ago. So.
There we go. Yeah, so I started 3 weeks ago. So right when I started, I didn't have a transformation to be like, okay, see, this is what my, before and after looks like of this program quite yet, because I was still working my program. But you can have a before and after in way more than just your physical. You can see the progress of your emotional strength, your mental health, your anxiety decreasing, getting better sleep. You can have a nutritional transformation. So there's so many transformations that are happening all at once, that if you're coming at it from somewhere that's authentic and just talking about your progress. I mean, for me, if you want to talk about a physical, from the very first day that I did Transformation 20, I took a video of myself because I like to see my workouts, and I couldn't do a burpee. I had to use my daughter's little trampoline thing as a modifier. And now I'm doing burpee lunges like crazy. So it's just seeing that progress over time. But if you come at it from, I want to have a transformation in some way, it doesn't mean that you have to come in and be like, okay, I'm going to lose all of this weight, but maybe you want to be stronger. Maybe you want to transform your mind and just help with whatever your mental health might be. Maybe you want to come in and transform your nutrition, going from, somebody who thinks that they're eating healthy and then getting that reality check of, maybe I'm not exactly fueling my body how I need to. So there's always room for growth if you come at it from an open mind and wanting to grow.
And I'll add to that, I get a lot of coaches that say, oh, maybe I'll start inviting people after I have a transformation picture. And that is the wrong mindset to have about it, because people want to be on the journey with you while you're doing it. They want to see the struggle with you. They want to be in the struggle with you. They want to be in the wins and successes with you. They don't want to see your after picture. Like, they want to be celebrating it with you if you have that after picture. I don't have a transformation story. I started it. Weight for me generally has not been an issue. Does it fluctuate? Yeah, of course it fluctuates. If my nutrition's off, I can totally tell. But you're not going to see some huge transformation story or picture from me for the most part. And that's okay, because everybody's on a different journey. But if you're just waiting for that transformation, if you're thinking, oh, I'll get more people to join me after I have the transformation picture, like, you can't have that mindset. You want to bring people on with you and go through it together, because people love community. As humans, we crave community. We crave connection. It is just part of us. And so when you bring somebody in to join you, when you're starting something, mid-starting, people will see you. If you're posting, they're going to see, like, wow, she's working out a lot. Like, what are you doing? Or they're going to see a change in your mood. Like, wow, you seem less stressed out, or you seem way happier. Like, what are you doing? What's different? And so you want to invite them in and not wait until the after, because I think a lot of people get hung up going, I'm not in shape. I'm not in the best shape of my life. I don't have a transformation picture. How can I influence anybody, because I'm completely, I'm out of shape. I don't have a beach body. One, everybody has a beach body. Like, seriously, you don't have to fit to be a coach, you do not have to fit some stereotypical, is that right? Stereotypical mold. All you have to do is be committed to your health and fitness journey and be willing to share that with others and invite others to join you. Like, that is your job as a coach, is you take care of you, and you grab and you lock arms with other women and men, whatever you decide you want to run this business as, and you say, hey, you want to do this with me? And so don't get hung up on the transformation story or the transformation picture, because you don't have to have that.
Yeah.
So it's funny that you say that, because I actually came in with that mindset, and that's why I didn't start coaching until recently, because I had that mindset, like, I can't really be a coach if I don't have a transformation to really show anybody. And like, with you guys doing what you're doing, like, I'm gonna cry, but like that's what made me realize, like, who the cares if I don't have my transformation yet? Because I have to learn to just take it and go, and that's going to be my transformation, that whole thing. So, like, thank you guys so much for keep posting all the time. Like, I always have it, like, I even talk to my fiance, I'm like, am I annoying people with all the posting that I'm doing? And he's like, who cares? He's like, you're reaching out to people. And it's true, because I had a friend from high school recently reach out to me, and I haven't talked to her since high school. That's almost 20 years. And she's like, hey, what have you been doing? Like, I keep seeing you post your workouts, and like, I want to give it a shot. So she's probably joining my challenge group, which I'm really excited. But I just thank you guys. I just wanted to put that out there.
Well, and thank you for thanking us. The other thing I want to say is at some point you won't have a transformation. So at some point when you're, you know, for like some people, like you're not going to continually lose weight or lose inches for the rest of your life. And, you know, unless you're yo-yoing and going back up, and that's not, we want people to create a lifestyle. So again, we're showing the journey, you know, and one of the top coaches that I follow, who has had ridiculous success in this business, has never had a physical transformation in her entire life. She has always been thin. She's always been an athlete. She's always been, and she is uber successful. And I remember watching her, and she's somebody that I just look up to immensely. And I remember the first time she shared a video of her modifying one of her workout, like a push-up or something. And I was like, what? She is so, I mean, the fittest, healthiest person I've ever seen in my life. And she's modifying? I was blown away. And again, that's where we have, and I get people telling me that now, like, oh my God, thank you so much for showing that you modify. I thought you never modified. And I was like, are you kidding me? I'm dying every single day I'm out there. And so when they think that it's something that they can't do, and you're just doing it because you've been working out forever, or, you know, and you only show the good things, that's what they're going to feel like, why they can't do it, because you've been doing, you know, they think of all the what, you know, the can'ts, why they can't be successful. So we have one more question, and then I do want to try to wrap it up because we're almost at an hour. But somebody asked, how do you explain the monthly fee? So if you're not aware, with Beachbody, oh, I'm going to take this one, guys. I hope you don't care. With Beachbody, there is no overhead. You do not have to buy product and then resell it, or you don't have to keep a certain inventory. There's no huge buy-in. It's amazing. Like, the only investment that you make to be a coach is in yourself. So when you sign up, normally people sign up with what's called a challenge pack. And if you've never been in a program or never been, you know, and you're just brand new to all of this, a challenge pack includes our annual membership of our Beachbody On Demand, all the workout programs except any early access ones, and it's like your Netflix of workout programs. And then you either combine it with our daily superfood shake, or our performance line, our Energize, or what I call my mom crack, and our Recover to prevent soreness. And you get that, and there's no coach sign up fee. That's all of that you're purchasing is what you are consuming in your own home, your own self. That's it. And so there is, the only thing that's a continuing fee is the $15. It's like $15.95 plus tax, depending on what state you live in, or country. It might be a little bit more if you're from Canada or the UK, or less. I don't know the exchange rate. But what that fee, that $15 fee to essentially be your own CEO and run your own business, is to use the branding, the Beachbody logos, the branding, all of their program, like pictures and graphics and all of that stuff. Plus you get 3 different websites for $15 a month. You don't have to go on Wix or whatever those, you know, and create your own website. You get 3 different websites provided by Beachbody, plus all of the rights to Beachbody branding for $15 a month. So if I could do the math really quickly, I don't know how much money that is, times 12, but it's a couple $100 probably a year to be the CEO of your own business. And if you think of starting your own brick and mortar business, or even an online business, like if you wanted to do like a boutique, and think of all the inventory you have to pay out and then resell and all that, it is peanuts compared to starting a different kind of side business. And the best part about it is instantly you get one friend, family member, stranger that joins you and stays consistent with their monthly orders. You've doubled the amount of that monthly fee, and it's not even an issue. So, and you can do that, like Deja shared with you, in the first 3 weeks. She's hit two of our big goals. She's on to the next one. She's covered that fee plus, you know, she already said she paid for her student loan, and she's paying for her product by what she's earning. So essentially, you know, she's getting free product, paying that monthly fee, and has extra in the first 3 weeks of her business. And again, just to stress, Beachbody does not guarantee any level of income. It is all based on how hard you decide to work. And that is.
I would add, also Beachbody offers for military, active or retired military. What's that?
And spouses.
And spouses. That $15.95 monthly fee is waived. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer. You don't have the $15.95 monthly fee, and that $40 fee is waived, say if you don't sign up with a total solution package. But that's another thing. So keep that in mind, because I think that's a huge opportunity. I know they do that for the US. I'm not sure what the rules are UK and Canada-wise, but
we can find out. And even if not, that $15, like I've never questioned that fee in my 6 years of coaching. Like never even, like it comes out of my, I'm like, okay, that's to run my business and the sky's the limit. And I might be able to retire from my job for $15 a month. I'm good.
And even if somebody's just signing up because they want the discount, because a lot of coaches sign up for the discount, you are still saving money. It's like Costco, right? You pay a membership to Costco to save money on the product. So it is literally like the same thing. You're paying a membership fee to save money. You're still saving money in the long run. And again, if they're signing up as a discount coach and they're military, like no brainer, because they automatically get the discount and they get even more savings.
So I do want to, we're at 10:57, and so I do want to close, and I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's a beautiful day in the Pacific Northwest, and so I want to go enjoy the rest of the day with my family. And please, if you have more questions or you're ready to go and sign up and join our team, please reach out to the person that invited you, and we look forward to working with you. Thank you.